everyone, it's Leanne. Welcome to another video on my channel. Today I want to do a book review. So this is a bit of a different video, but I've had this book for about a year and I really like this book. So I wanted to share it with you and kind of show you what is inside this book and what you can expect. Maybe it's something you'd be interested in as well. So the book I'm going to review today is called Modern Calligraphy. This is by Molly Suber-Thorpe. And so this is a book about doing calligraphy, hand lettering particularly, and the reason I picked up this book is because I have an iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil, and I was interested in learning more about hand calligraphy and kind of exploring that side of it. So I picked up this book on a recommendation, and it is wonderful. So let's take a look at what's inside this book. And so the one thing I like about this book is there's lots of examples of hand calligraphy. Everything she does is by hand, and there's a lot of different examples, which is nice. So the sections of the book include supplies and setup, learning to write, letters then words, then sentences. So progressing and starting small and then building upon what you learn. Intermediate tools and techniques. Pushing the envelope postal art, which is a very fun category, and then there's a bunch of do-it-yourself projects that she has. So it's a really fun book, and it's almost like taking a course in calligraphy or hand lettering. So in the beginning it talks about calligraphy, the history behind it, and then her passion for it and hand lettering, and then it talks about the supplies next. So it talks about mostly offline art, so fine art mediums that you can use, the types of pens or nibs, what you need to look for when you're buying a nib or a pen. It talks about the anatomy of the nib and the pen. And then she goes through different inks and different types of pens and pen holders or nib holders. So there's a lot of information in here. And then she talks about some accessories as well, pencils for sketching out your word marks to begin with, and then types of papers that are good to use, what you want to look for on that side. And this is a chart here that she has that talks about different papers and what they're good for, if they're good for practicing or lettering, or what types of mediums you can use, or what you can expect from them as well, which is nice. And this is the preparing to write section, getting everything primed for writing. And then the beginning of this is the learning to write section, letters, then words, then sentences. At the beginning she talks about just how to hold your pen, so things that you might not think about, but ways that you can take advantage of the angles that you're holding your pen, or ways that you can correct maybe issues that you have when you do your lettering that you're not able to identify why. The other thing that's nice is she talks about left-handed calligraphers and compares the difference between what she mentioned for right-handed calligraphers, which is really nice because I know there's a lot of creative left-handed people, and sometimes they probably feel shut out, I feel, because everything is so focused on right-handed because it's so dominant, unfortunately. But this book really does address left-handed as well as right-handed, which is really nice. So it talks about what you need to expect and different ways you can write. There's not just one specific way, but she goes through the different ways that will work for you and what to watch out for if you are that sort of style of writer, or you hold your pen in that direction. It goes through doing different strokes and practices, and then she talks about troubleshooting as well, so any issues you might have, my pen is snagging on the paper, ink's not flowing out of the nib, or coming too quickly, etc., which is really nice. Now this section is the reason why I bought the book. This is what I really like the most, is the reference of the alphabet. So she goes through and she does each letter form, and she does it in a variety of ways. So it's not just that there's one A, one capital A, and then one small a. She has many different writing styles, and so this whole section here are all A's. And it shows you a variety of ways that you can write that letter. And so you're not just stuck to one style by one person. You can kind of explore or see what you like best, or you can use anatomies of parts of the letter, maybe on this example and then another part on this example, and blend them together and create your own, which is really nice. I find this reference is really good if I'm doing an address of an envelope, for example. I might want the first letter of the first name to be more embellished than the first letter of the last name, which comes in the middle of the line. So it gives me a lot of options to look at this and see which ones are a little more flourished or a little more subdued, and I can choose from that. I reference this a lot when I'm doing calligraphy, and this This section here is just golden for me. I love it so much, and it's so useful. It's worth the value of the book on its own just to have these examples all collected in one place, and they're beautiful. They're all beautiful examples. I don't have anything in here I don't like. She also addresses doing numbers, which is important, but also doing characters, so ampersands, question marks, the different punctuations that you don't normally think of and people don't really think about when they're creating lettering guides. Most people focus on the letters first, so it's nice to have these options as well. And there's a variance of options just like the letters. This section talks about putting those letters together, spacing, and practicing. She gives different examples, and she has different styles, so I'm going to zoom in so you can see. So for example, there's this style of lettering, but then she also has this style of lettering. So her styles aren't just to one specific style. She does a variance of styles, which is nice. So you can see in the book as you go through that there's a lot of different options for choosing your letter forms. It's not just all in one style or her style. So it gives you the chance to see many examples, and then you can explore what you like or what you feel is more suited to your taste, which is nice. In this section, number 3, she goes through different tools and kind of pushing the boundaries. You've got your basics. So these are other things that you can explore. Paint brushes or felt tip pens, different containers, different instruments you can use to support your writings as well, like masking fluid, writing boards, bone folders, that sort of thing. She has a big section on watercolor too, so if you're new to watercolor, she goes through mixing watercolor, what you want to look for, using tubes versus paints, which is really nice. And watercolor lends itself nicely to lettering because you can use that brush to get that brush style, which is really what we're after when we're doing calligraphy with a pen or a nib, is just that brush with those thicks and thins, so it's really nice. She also talks about using gouache, which is an opaque medium but can be watered down to behave like watercolor, and you can paint with it or write with it the same way. And then she talks about different applications, especially with watercolor as well, but ways that you can dress up what you're doing and create different applications for your lettering. So this talks about different papers, different layouts, adding flourishes, different mediums, using coffee, for example, to paint instead of watercolor. This section talks about envelope addressing, and it gives a variety of examples of ways that you can embellish an envelope and make it something that's exciting for someone to receive. I'll zoom in on this picture here, and I'll just tilt my book up so it doesn't have the glare on it. Let's see if we can get that a little bit better. There we go. And so you can see here this gives a variety of examples, and what I really like about this is it's not just one style. There's a few different options. Even on the envelope, it's not just all handwriting in all one style. She does a variety, which is really nice because we have some block letters as well as some cursive letters, which is really nice. So it kind of gets you thinking about different options that you could try when you're addressing an envelope. Here are some more examples she includes in the book. One thing I would mention is that when you are creating envelope addresses, there is a recommendation, I know on Canada Post website, and it probably is the same for many other countries, but you may want to look on your local or your country's postal website, but they recommend keeping the bottom area of the letter open for postal marks that they use. Sometimes they will put them on the back of the envelope. I know that it would be hard to print them on a dark envelope, for example. They still make it through the mail, so it's not something that everyone follows, but it is recommended to leave the bottom area open. So if you are addressing an envelope, that is something you might want to keep in mind, just so it makes it a little bit easier to get your letter through the mail. So there's lots of examples in the book, and then she talks about different projects that you can do. So this gives a variety of ways of doing different calligraphy applications. This talks about creating your own return address stamp, your own custom stamp, which is really unique. And I actually did this myself. So in this process, it talks about custom lettering your address, your return address, creating that into a digital file, and then the DPI that you need to make it, and how to make that file appropriate for printing, and then uploading it to a printer's website. So I did something similar with my shop logo. So I created I'll zoom in so you can see I created a stamp for my channel for any cards that I make, and so I use this rubber stamp. I did this actually in Illustrator, which is a graphic program. I didn't do this by hand, but it does have my logo, and I created this design, and then I uploaded it to a online stamp creator, and they created this in about 2 or 3 weeks. I received it in the mail, and it was relatively inexpensive. It was under $20 to buy this. And so I purchased this one from simonstamp.com, not to be confused with Simon Says Stamp, but just simonstamp.com. And so they did a really good job, and the impression is really great. You can see, you can kind of see because of the black that's on there now that how precise it is to my design. It turned out really good. So this book talks about the process that you can take to create your own stamp based on your hand lettering, which is kind of unique and would be great to have for a return address. I love that idea. And then it talks about creating rubber stamps the same way for save the date cards. So that's a project that you could do if you're planning for a wedding or helping someone plan a wedding. Formal invitations, handwritten invitations. And it talks about how to digitize those as well, which can be tricky, just making sure that you get the right DPI. And depending on the application, if you're going to distribute it online or you're going to print it off somewhere. This also talks about creating a couple's name in hand lettering, and then creating that into a digital version that you can then apply to different applications. You could put it on thank you notes or place cards, or use it sort of as a branding for the wedding. It talks about using watercolor to dress up place cards as a project, which is very, very fun. This one looks really fun. And so it expands on more than just calligraphy. It talks about different applications, as I mentioned, but it also has different projects, and it just kind of gives you a way to think about it differently and sort of get your mind going on ways that you could apply this technique and create it into something that you would use in practicality, which is really nice. So there's lots of colorful examples. It's a pretty thick book, and it's very in-depth. It goes from A to Z on calligraphy. So it's been a real great resource for me, and I just wanted to share this with you because it may be something that you're interested in. I do love this book. I think it's wonderful. If anyone is interested in calligraphy, it's definitely something you might want to check out, if not only for the alphabet examples in the center. So then it talks about creating greeting cards, which is always nice. And doing those with watercolor as well. So you don't need any one specific type of tool to do calligraphy or lettering. As I mentioned, I do mine with my iPad mostly, but I do like using a calligraphy pen as well. And I'll show you the pen I have once I'm done here, showing you the book. So just going through some more examples and a step-by-step process for doing this hand-lettered envelope as well, which is nice. And I love that it does talk about using watercolor. That is a medium that I'm interested in as well, and I have been exploring a little bit more lately. It's so beautiful, and you need minimal supplies to use watercolor, which is nice. It has a lot of ideas in here for that. It also talks about using it for stationery or recipes, which is fun. And then the reference guide at the end for envelopes and the liner size that you'll want, and how big your paper is versus what size of envelope you may want to consider. It has a template for a fingerprint tree. This was an example in the project section. So you would create this for a wedding, print this out, and then everyone would put their thumbprint on the tree, and then they could write their name. It has cupcake topper flags, a template that you can print off. And so all in all, there's 184 pages in this book, so it's quite comprehensive, and it's a wonderful, wonderful guide. Now, I do have a glass pen. So this pen here, and I did a review on this as well in a previous video, it has grooves on the end here, and so you dip it into an inkwell, and the ink filters up these kind of gullies it has, and as you write, it just kind of all flows down and comes out in an even stream. And it has a little holder. I bought this more for the aesthetic, but that's a type of calligraphy pen as well, or a handwriting pen. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and a look at this book review. This is a great book, so I will put a link down in the description below if you're interested in checking it out. If you did like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. That does help my channel a lot, and I so appreciate it. And subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this too. Thank you so much for watching.